Welcome back, guys, to a preview every single NFL team for the upcoming 2023 season. We are in the AFC West once again with the Denver Broncos. You're going to ask yourself, 2022, go back to the 2022 offseason. There, you even got it. Go back to the 2022 offseason, and when Denver made this huge trade for a franchise quarterback, a former MVP in the league, in Russell Wilson. You're going to ask yourself, if you're the Denver Broncos, there should have been a lot of red flags going on in Denver. I'm thinking, why now? Why are the Seattle Seahawks getting rid of their franchise quarterback over a head coach that is over 70 years old, who is 70, going over 70 years old now? That is the question that should have been going on in George Patton's head. Why are they getting rid of Russell Wilson but keeping Pete Carroll? Why is that? That is a question I would have asked, but again, you look at who's the GM of the fucking Denver Broncos. It's fucking George Patton. So again, nothing much is going on here. Again, it's stupid again. So they bring in Nathaniel Hackett, thinking that they're going to get Aaron Rodgers, because again, Rodgers was going to go there and reunite with Nathaniel Hackett. He was the play caller in Green Bay. So, oh great, we got Nathaniel Hackett, Aaron Rodgers, great. We're going to be a contending playoff team in the AFC West. We're going to be up there with the Chiefs and shit like that. But they got Russell Wilson, and it just went to the shits. It was literally a dumpster fire from the start. Nathaniel Hackett was way in over his head. There was one game I remember. I know you guys probably remember in the comments, but I don't know who it was against. But I remember I think it's against Seattle in a division, against Seattle, Russell Wilson's old team, and they needed just a win because they was tied in the fourth quarter about 10 seconds to go. If they had they could have just, if they had a timeout and let Russell Wilson throw the ball, they could have won the game. But what did Nathaniel Hackett do? He's like, no, let's not do the timeout. Let's go for a field goal with Brendan McManus. He's going to do a fucking field goal 50 yards out, and also, with a field goal, you're not going to, chances of getting at 50 yards is very hit and miss. And ultimately he misses, and then Seattle get the win. And then you look at the other things, you hear the reports online saying that the players didn't believe in Nathaniel Hackett, that they had to get a commissioner in or to oversee football and operations in, and ultimately he was fired, rightfully so, because again, Nathaniel Hackett was in way over his head. He lost the locker room. Once you lose the locker room in any sports, that is ultimately your job is done here. Like, your job is done. Didn't last a year. It didn't last a year. He was gone anyway. And we go on to this offseason, and they bring in Hall of Fame, future Hall of Famer, and Sean Payton, a former Super Bowl head coach with the Saints a number of years ago. He comes in. He has spent many years with the Saints. Won them a championship with Drew Brees. He had a year off, but again, because the contract wasn't up yet, they had to pay New Orleans some compensation so they could get him a bit early. So he comes in. You still have Russell Wilson. I said this months ago. I think if I'm Denver, I would have got rid of Russell Wilson after the 2022 season. I would have cut my losses, because again, you would have saved $30 million, over $30 million in cap space. Got rid of him, and you could have restarted and found yourself a quarterback in 2024. I would have cut my losses this year with Russell Wilson and had like somebody like a Geno Smith come in or somebody like that just to fill the gap in for 2024. But you're going to keep him anyway. So again, now the thing is, you're going to build around him. You haven't got Bradley Chubb anymore. He went to the Dolphins last year, so that's a big loss for them. They only had a second round pick and a couple of third round picks. So again, you've got to really think here of who you're going to get. So you bring in Marvin Mims, wide receiver from Oklahoma. He's a good addition to this team. You look at that wide receiver class, Jigbia, and a lot of other talent that were on this. Like Jigbia was there, Jordan Harrison. But you got Marvin Mims here from Oklahoma. He's going to be, again, a good addition to help that wide receiver, that offensive line, to help Russell Wilson on the offensive side of the ball. Jerry Jeudy you have got Brandon Johnson, you've got Conrad Sutton, Cortland Sutton, who again has been a couple of years, but again he can be still a good hand, I guess. In the defensive side of the ball, you got Drew Sanders. Yeah, you got Drew Sanders at the linebacker position. Again, the linebacker position wasn't the best this year. Trent Simpson was the best out of the entire linebackers. Trenton Simpson was the best out of all of them. But Drew Sanders here, a linebacker for Arkansas, he could be a good hand in that defensive side of the ball. I don't know. Again, it's a big loss that you've not got Bradley Chubb anymore, but it is what it is. Then you got Riley Moss, cornerback from Iowa. He was a good talent. I'm excited to see what he does in the defensive side. You got J.S. Skinner. Yeah, J.S. Skinner, defensive back from Boise State. Again, you look at the defensive back safety position. You had Brian Branch. You had a lot of great talents in here, but you got J.S. Skinner, who's also a good prospect. I don't know if he's going to be a starter yet, but he'd be a good prospect. And then you got Alex Forsyth. He's a corner from Oregon. Again, he could start. He could be on the reserve team. I don't know if he's made the 53-man roster. But who did they sign in the free agency? They got Trayvon Smith, cornerback. They got Samija. Yeah, got Perina from the Bengals, running back. Again, that's another good one for Russell Wilson. You got Alex Longton, linebacker. You got Chris Marquez, a tight end, and you got Zach Allen, defensive end from the Cardinals. So again, you've done okay in the free agency. The draft, again, what you did with the draft, again, you only had a couple like second round pick and a third round pick, so you have to really be smart of what you're going to do in this draft. And you look at them in the first game, they have a divisional game against the Raiders. So again, that's a tough game for them, a divisional game, another team that is trying to find their feet as well. Whether I think the Denver's going to be under Sean Payton, this is a Russ Wilson in decline now. That this isn't Russ Wilson from years ago. I don't know about this team. Obviously, you know that the Chiefs are going to win this division, but you got the Chargers are looking good. I'm going to say third. I think a third place finish for Denver. Third place finish for Denver in the AFC West. I think that's probably the best position for them right now. You look at the other teams, like the Raiders are no Derek Carr anymore, so they're having their own thing. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. Chargers are still building their team on the Brandon Staley. So there's a lot of good positions going on. But for the Denver Broncos, I think he's going to be third.